Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my channel. I am Jamila and I love all things beauty, I love all things makeup, I love all things skincare, and I especially love sharing my tips and tricks for how to find high-end and luxury beauty products at bargain prices. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I would absolutely love if you would consider subscribing and joining the fam. Okay, so you've probably seen this look before. I am wearing the new Nomad Cosmetics Ovang... Dang, I was so confident in pronouncing this until just now. So I'm wearing the new Nomad Cosmetics Okavango Safari palette. I don't know, I'm so nervous to pronounce it that I'm like making a mistake. The Okavango palette. This is, by the time this video goes up, this is already out and available. So this is what I have on my eyes. This was my first time testing it out. So I will be sure to link that video, or I will try to remember to link that video in case you wanted to see all the deets of me testing it out. But for today's video, I'm here to talk about my April and May spending. And I'm doing this combined for a couple of reasons. First, April was a very busy month for me, and I ended April, well, I began May traveling. So I traveled pretty much all of May, and I've only been home May for about 8 days in total. So my filming and just everything schedule has been sort of all over the place. What I like to do with these videos is I like to film them either at the end of the month or like the beginning of the next month, so that I can share what I've spent in each month relatively quickly when the month ends. But because of my travel schedule, I just didn't get a chance to do that. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to combine it into this one thing. The second one is, your girl is a little bit embarrassed. I'm not gonna lie. I hardcore almost skipped this video. I was very much like, well, do I need to film this? I could just not do it. It's my channel. Like, I don't need permission to not film something I don't want to film. And I was really, really embarrassed because I try to talk about being fiscally, financially responsible when it comes to makeup and makeup purchases. And I swear to you all, I lost my ever-loving mind in April. And in some ways in May too. And because of that, it didn't feel right for me to come on here and be like, here's all of the money I spent in these 2 months, because it's a stupid amount of money. Like, I fully recognize that, looking at it, counting it up, that there are so many other things I could have done with this money. Now, that being said, I am giving myself grace, because here's the thing. I love makeup. This is my hobby. This is not a job for me. So in no ways am I doing this or using this like, oh, I make money off of this as an excuse. The fact is, I love makeup, and I don't think that we should be vilified for spending money on the things that we love. I also love to travel, and I would never turn around and be mad at myself for spending the amount of money that I did on makeup on travel. So why am I doing it for makeup? I love it. I enjoy it. I can afford to do it. This isn't stopping me from paying my bills. If it was, that would be a whole different conversation about prioritization and, you know, rent versus like eyeshadow. But as far as it is right now, it doesn't exactly hinder my life in any way. And I am taking my spare extra money to do the thing that I love, which is use makeup, buy makeup, test makeup, film with makeup. That being said, I did have a goal for myself. I want to spend less on makeup, because not only do I only have one face, two eyes, it's not possible for me to utilize all of the new products on there. I'm not a review channel. It's not possible for me to use all the things that I'm buying. And two, it prevents me from using the things that I already own and I already love. And I do hate that feeling of having products that I really, really like that I don't get to use because there's all of these new things coming in. So that being said, even though I'm not hating myself or like really, really overly stressing about the fact that I spent so much, I still have my goal of I want to spend more. So I do need to do better in that regard. Okay, so that was a very long intro, but I wanted to give you guys a sense of where my head is at. I wanted to also give you guys a little bit of warning going into this, because it is a lot of money. So keep the hate to yourself. Let's start there. If you have an issue with how much I'm spending, the exit button right around here somewhere. I'm a very big believer in, it's your money, do whatever you want with it. So I'm not asking for your opinion. I'm not asking you for you to come here and judge me on how much I'm spending. If that's the case, you could leave. We don't need that negativity over here. So just keep it cute. As I always say, keep it respectful. Have some brought up seat in my comment section, please, because this is not the place and I ain't the one. Just putting it out there at the very beginning in case you wanted to leave. If you are in some way going to be triggered by this video and how much I spent on makeup, and honestly, it's probably less than what some other people spend, but if you are in some way going to be triggered, please, there are so many other videos on my channel you can watch. You don't have to watch this one. You can skip it. It's fine. I'm not offended in any way whatsoever. But I don't know. I just feel like I needed to give a little bit of content warning because it just kind of sounds stupid ridiculous when I like say how much I've spent this in April and May. But that's enough lollygagging. I don't want this to be super long. I'm not going to show you guys all the things that I bought because I spent so much that it's just, we would be here for a minute. Anyways, I've written everything down for the month of April and May. So we're just going to go through it like we usually do, starting with April. Now, in April, I actually made several trips to the cosmetics company outlet store. I'm not sure why I made them, and quite frankly, I'm looking at all of these purchases and I'm like, what the hell did you buy? But I actually have 4 purchases here from the cosmetics company store that honestly equal a pretty significant amount. Now, my monthly makeup budget was supposed to be $150 a month. That has never actually happened. And we are at the end of May, and I have never once hit that $150 budget for makeup for this year. So either I need to reevaluate my budget or I need to really rethink what my spending is, because the truth is makeup has gotten so much more expensive that $150 does not go as long as it once did. For example, Adept Cosmetics just released their Seahorse palette. That's $140. That's like that one palette would be my whole budget there. Natasha Denona's Yucca palette is coming out. That's going to be $65. The new Nomad palette, even though I did get it in PR, that's $42. So $100 doesn't stretch as much as it used to. And even back in the day, it didn't used to stretch that far. Maybe you'd get 2 things. No, it's like 1, because I'm giving you all the retail prices, sans tax, sans like shipping and all that fun jazz. And once you really start adding those things up, it is very easy to spend $100 on one thing. So I'm gonna have to marinate on that budgeting piece for a bit. Not sure when. I do move in the next 2 to 2.5 weeks, so life be lifing right now. So, and that's also why I'm like really not into trying to buy nothing, because I move in a couple weeks. I don't want anything shipped to the wrong address, and 2, I'm buying all of these new things from my new place. So there's that. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive in. So like I said, I went to the cosmetics company outlet store 4 times in April. Now, I do know that at the CCS or the CCO, I did purchase a couple of fragrances. There is this brand, what is it called? Erin. It's this fragrance brand, Erin. It has these really cute crystals on top of their bottles. Very lovely design. And they had some really nice fragrances in there. And they are pricey. So they are not they're not as expensive as, say, Tom Ford, but they are in the over $100 range. And even with like 50% off, which is what that worked out to be, it was still like $75 a piece for the perfume. And I think I purchased about 3 of their fragrances. So that really did eat up a huge chunk of my budget in April. Should I have bought less? Probably. I haven't purchased fragrances in a while. I do have a lot of them. I have a lot of my dossier fragrances that I also got in PR. I also have a pretty significant stack of travel fragrances that I'm trying to work through as well as those little deluxe sizes that I'm trying to work through, because fragrances, they go bad, right? The alcohol or whatever things that's in there, they start to lose their scent over time. So I don't want to overstock up on fragrances, because once they start going bad, I don't want the smell goes away. It's like a whole thing. So I think I'm good on fragrances for now, because I also did pick up the Fenty Beauty Eau de Parfum during the Sephora sale. So I'm good on fragrances for the next several months. But I'm not mad that I got those. There was one scent from that Erin that I remember that I was like, this is gonna be my signature summer scent. So I remembered that one specifically, but the others, I can't really remember it that well. But anyways, so again, 4 purchases from the cosmetics company store. The first one, I ended up spending $192.46. The second one, $154.44. The third one, $107.69. And the fourth one, $137.70. So pretty big chunk of change. And then the next thing that I purchased was I bought the the Melt Electric palette as well as their brunette bundle. Now, I can't remember why I bought the brunette bundle. I think it was to get free shipping or something stupid like that. But Melt was also offering a 30% off sale. So with the brunette bundle, you got the brunette, or is it brunette? It might be brunette palette with the Melt brush set. So I think it worked out to being like 20 something dollars for that. So to get a full brush set and a palette, chef's kiss. Now, would I have bought that brunette palette on my own? No, because it's a neutral palette and it's not even like a nice neutral palette at that. And about 3 of the mattes are on the much lighter side for my preference. But I think I bought it because I needed free shipping and the price worked out to be pretty decent. Whatever. What I really wanted was the Electric palette, which is Melt's new palette. That actually I'm not mad about because it is a really nice palette. The quality in that is phenomenal. And I was really happy about that one because Melt is not known for their shimmers, and this was a very, very shimmer heavy palette. And with that, it's kind of like, is this going to work out for me? But the shimmers were phenomenal. So it had more shimmers than it did mattes, which is very different for Melt. And all the shimmers that I used performed well. The mattes also performed really well. It is a mix of warm and cool tones, but you can mix those as long as you are careful with it, because color theory, mixing warm and cool tones, if it's done wrong, it can be muddy. Mixing anything wrong can be muddy, because we all know as kids, in kindergarten, you'd get red and white and you'd make pink or whatever. So, but you also knew once you started adding other things in, you could get brown, like the dirty poopy brown. So once you're careful with how you mix those warm and those cool tones, you can end up with a really, really beautiful look. So I wanted a palette. I ended up picking it up. It worked out well. I think I definitely filmed with it. Is it up and available? I'm not sure, because my editing schedule has been worse than my filming schedule. Like, I have videos for y'all, but I haven't had the time to edit it because of my travel schedule. I thought I was going to do some editing on the planes, but I get really bad motion sickness. So I don't know where I concocted that in my mind that I would be able to edit on the plane. So no, but I'm gonna try to, if it's not up, it will definitely be up eventually, soon, for you guys. But yeah, so between the two of those, I ended up spending $89.21 for 2 Melt palettes plus the brush bundle. What I did do with the brush bundle is that I actually sold it online and on my Mercari store, because I have too much brushes, and even though they felt okay, it definitely wasn't quality enough for what it cost, in my opinion, and not nice enough for me to be like, this is gonna be one that I'm gonna use all the time. Like, it would work, it's a fine brush set, but I have better brushes and ones that I would reach for way over that. The next thing that I picked up was an order from Pat McGrath. Now, this should be, or you should have seen this if you watched one of my previous haul videos. Pat McGrath was having a sale. Pat McGrath is always on sale, so I know that doesn't give you any real context, but I can't remember what this sale was, but it was a lot of new products had gotten added to her exclusive offers section. So if you go on Pat's website, there is a tab with exclusive offers, and on that tab, what got added was her Love collection. Now, Pat released the Love collection for Valentine's Day. There was a set of 3 eyeshadow palettes, I think 2 blushes, some lip stuff, you know, standard kind of Pat McGrath release. I didn't pick it up at that point because of the 3 palettes, there was one sort of warm neutral palette, a rosy neutral palette, and then an all matte palette, which, while beautiful, each of those palettes are like $65. So I knew I was going to wait for a sale. I didn't think it was going to sell out. I can't tell you the last time Pat McGrath sold out. So I was like, this is going to go on sale eventually. And it did. So it went on sale. So I picked up the 3 eyeshadow, the 3 6-pan eyeshadows from that collection, and one of her Chroma Luxe eyeshadows, which was from the Star Wars collection, and I think that was it. Now, it did come with a free gift, so I got a free Pat McGrath pouch, as well as a free colored mascara. Fine, whatever. But that order ended up working out to being $158.76. So it wasn't cheap. What I will say for that is that I did end up splitting that order using Shop Pay. So if you have Shop Pay, if you have Affirm, if you have any of those, PayPal, you can split your order into 4 payments instead of having to pay one lump sum. So that's what I did end up doing for a number of these purchases. So even though you'll hear me say the total for April, just keep in mind that I did split those up. So it wasn't just like me swipey. I did kind of spread it out over several weeks, several months, so that it wasn't like a huge hit on my account. Okay. And then the Sephora VIB sale happened. So we all know that the Sephora VIB sale happens twice a year, one in spring and one in the fall. Now, I went into this with very little intentions of picking up a ton of things, and those intentions remained intentions. And they went flying the fuck out the window. Like, it was gone very, very quickly. And I placed several online orders, and I did several purchases in store. I'm actually looking at this now, and there are 9 separate payments during the Sephora VIB sale. Because I would buy something, and it might just be one thing, and I am a Sephora Rouge member, so I'd get 20% off, and then I'd get another thing, and then another thing, and another thing. And it wasn't just one lump sum purchase, it was all of these stupid little purchases that add up. They really, really do. So it was a bit of a mess, if we're being honest. Okay, my mistake, it's actually 11 purchases, because I forgot 2 that I actually made in store, not online. So I'm just going to give you guys the rundown of all of these numbers. Not really going to go too in depth into it because you've seen my Sephora hauls. So we have, in terms of what I purchased and how much I spent, $54.30, $25.11, $33.08, $17.28, $21.60, $20.74, $56.78, $23.76, $48.60, $110.24, and $300. Yes, that is a lot. I can fully admit that. Let me quickly tell you just what the Sephora purchases are. And I averaged out the $300 purchase because I can't find the receipt for that one, but I know I spent $300 in one of my in-store purchases, so I went ahead and added that there. Okay, so in total for Sephora during the VIB sale, I spent $711.49. Again, I am not proud, and it's frustrating. I will admit that 100%. And then the last thing that I purchased in the month of April was the Killer Per palette, and this is from Menagerie Cosmetics, and that was $45.33. Okay, so in total, adding everything up, for the month of April, I ended up spending $1,596.48. I'm like fanning myself because it's hella stressful. Now, like I said, for most of these purchases, or for a lot of these purchases, I did end up splitting them up. So it wasn't just like a full flush of money. I did break them out over several payments. So that's its own thing, but we're not gonna get into the math of trying to differentiate what was paid in this week versus this month, next month. Not gonna do all of that. Now, on Mercari, I was able to sell a couple of things, and I did make $403.36. So that did bring my sort of final spend down to $1,193.12, which is still stupid expensive. Imagine having a budget of $150 and then you spend over $1,000. And I get it. This was the month of the Sephora VIB sale, so it was definitely a higher buy time in general, but I didn't need half of the stuff that I bought. I shouldn't have bought half of the stuff that I did. I am not proud of it, and it is ridiculous and should never happen again. And it's really annoying because March, which was right before, I had done so good. If you watch my March spending video, it was great. I was like, look at me getting my life together. And then April. Okay. Just woo-sawing my way out of this. No. That's how much I ended up spending in April. Let's switch to May. Again, I'm doing both of these things together because I ran out of time in April, and it just worked out this way. So y'all are getting April and May together. So for May, I definitely had significantly less purchases. So not as much as I spent in April, but still over my budget, which is what I'm trying to have a budget. The purpose of a budget is to stick within it, be under it. The fact that I'm over is a problem in its own, but we'll get into that. So for April, for May, I started off by purchasing some Blend Bunny brushes. I have at least 5, 6, maybe 7 sets of the Blend Bunny brushes. I said this in previous videos, but what happened is that the Blend Bunny brush set, the stock that she currently has, there is a manufacturing flaw in that the handles are not properly attached to the bristle part of the brush. So if you're looking at a brush, what it means is that this piece is separating from this piece on top here. Now that's definitely not something that you want in your brushes. So rather than sort of chalking up the entire stock as like trash, what she is doing is she's offering these brushes at discount. So in May, and I believe right now, they are currently available as a buy one, get one free. If you are fine with buying some Gorilla Glue, buying some, what is that other glue? Super glue, crazy glue, and just sticking those two pieces back together, this is a phenomenal deal because the brush sets are about $30-something, I believe $35. So you get a set of 5 brushes, and they're currently 50% off right now. So it's $15, $16 for a set of 5 brushes. Phenomenal price, totally worth it in my opinion. Plus, you can stack codes on top of it. I do have a code with Blend Bunny Cosmetics, so if you want to use my code Jamila, it will save you an additional chunk of money off of it. So because Blend Bunny was having a sale, and I really like the Blend Bunny brushes, they are excellent for detailed work. They're excellent if you have hooded eyes. They are much smaller blending brushes. So if you have, small hooded eyes and the big fluffy brushes just don't, they take up too much real estate. I have big eyes, so that's not really an issue, but they're perfect for detailed work. So if you have small eyes and the big fluffy brushes are too much, or you like more detailed work, those are the people that I would recommend the Blend Bunny brush sets for. And again, if you are completely fine with just sticking those two pieces back together, then this is a great deal. I have crazy glue in my drawer, so I was just like, whoops. And I've only had about 3 of them come apart so far. And I have 5 to 7 brush sets. I think it's 7. So because they were on sale, I did purchase one of the brush sets, and I ended up spending $36.19. So I purchased the one, got the other one for free. Or did I purchase 2? No. I purchased 2 because I purchased 2 of the brush sets because they are 50% off. Buy one, get one. They're 50% off plus buy one, get one. Sorry, I misspoke. They are 50% off plus buy one, get one. So with the $36.99, I got 4 brush sets. Yeah, so value insane. I'll be sure to link that down below if you're interested in picking it up. Then the next thing I picked up was the Glamlight Scooby-Doo collection. I really enjoyed the original Glamlight and Scooby-Doo release because they did change their shimmer formula. It's a lot less putty-like. It's a much easier formula to apply with a brush. Super pigmented. And because I really enjoyed the first release, I thought, let me go ahead and get the second release, which is actually right here. So what I did was I went ahead and I picked up the palette as well as the blush palette. They did have a coupon for, I believe, 15% off that I was able to use, but it wasn't as high a discount as I possibly could have gotten. Now this palette is humongous. Ain't nobody need a palette this big. Like, for context, this is my iPad. This is the palette. Nobody needs a palette that is basically the size of an iPad. It is unnecessarily large. And if you want more context in terms of like what a standard palette should be, this is the new Nomad palette. This is the Scooby-Doo palette. Again, way too big, way too big. But it does have the really cool Scooby-Doo sort of imaging that changes. And this is the color story. Now there is a lot of wasted space in this palette. This could have been much smaller, but that is for a review, not for this video. We're talking about how much money I spent. So I ended up picking up the palette as well as the blush duo from the collection. Let me see. I'm only showing you all this because it's right here next to me. Here we have the blush duo. Also that sort of shifty effect going on. And you get sort of a pink and corally orange blush. So for both of those products, I ended up spending $50.49. Glamlight is, in my opinion, one of the more affordable indie brands out there on the market. Like $50.49 for 2 products and a pretty large palette at that is kind of unheard of. A lot of these brands, man, their prices are just doing things. So that's how much I spent on that first Glamlight purchase. Now, I did make a second Glamlight purchase because I saw the Chucky palette had come back in stock. And this was one that I had been interested in, but held off on. And I wasn't too sure if I was going to get it. But I was just like, you know what, screw it. Go ahead and pick it up. I don't know if it's going to end up at TJ Maxx. So before I miss it completely, grab it. It is a grunge lover's dream. Now, I don't think that this is necessarily one that I'm going to reach for summertime because it's so deep and grungy. Definitely does not give me summer vibes, but it's really pretty. So I'm hoping to get a chance to use it soon, even though it's on the deeper, grungier side. Now, this one was $35.19. Then I picked up the Tom Ford Face, Eye, and Cheek palette from the Cosmetics Company store. So this is one that came out last year. I don't think it was very well liked. The original price of this is $100 and something, but it was 50% off at the CCS. So I ended up paying $69.99 for this. So you get some pretty standard neutrals as well as sort of 2, this is a blush and then this is a highlighty shade kind of thing. Not really great highlighting, so I don't know what I'm going to use that for, but yeah, this is the cheek and eye palette. This is probably one of the less exciting ones of these that Tom Ford has put out. The packaging is also not the nicest in my opinion. It's really thick and chunky. So that was one I picked up at the CCS. Next, I picked up the Safari palette from Colored Rain. If you'll remember, I ordered this last year in June or July, and it just arrived. Colored Rain had a significant shipping problem in that their products got stopped at customs, so they weren't able to sell it. They weren't able to sell it. So it was there for months and months and months and months. And this was supposed to be what, a 3-month pre-order, and it was essentially a year. People waited a year for these palettes. Now, I went ahead and canceled my order with Colored Rain. A lot of people did. And now that it's finally here, I was like, you know what? Go ahead and order it again. So I went ahead, ordered it. I did have a gift card that I was able to use. So I ended up paying $5.80 for this palette. Now, the palette does originally retail for $25. So not bad, honestly. It took $5.80. I'm not mad at it. The next thing that I picked up, I bought something from the CCS that I remember what it is because I have it right here. So I did do another trip to the Cosmetics Company store because they were having 60% off of specific brands. MAC was included, so I picked up a couple of gift sets from MAC Cosmetics. So the first 2 that I have are identical. It's just one is kind of for lighter skin tones and one is for deeper skin tones. So they are these Sparkling Stare Eye Kit. So you get an eyeshadow duo, a mascara, and one of the paint pots. So this is the lighter one. So this is a lighter paint pot color, and then you get this eyeshadow duo, both of which are shimmery. It does also come with this gold makeup bag. And then for the mascara, this is the MAC Stack Mascara. For the darker one, you get a different mascara. This is actually the Magic Extension Mascara. And then you just get a different shade in the paint pot. 2 sort of deeper, richer eyeshadows and a pink makeup bag. I also picked up this brow kit in the shade Deep. So you get a brow pencil and a brow mascara or brow gel. And lastly, you get this mini sort of travel kit that has a bunch of primers essentially. So you get an eyeshadow primer, you get the Prep and Prime for the face. This is a radiant primer. It does come in yellow and it comes in pink. I went with the yellow one because I have a yellow undertone. If you have a cooler undertone, there is a pink version of this set where you would get a pink that pink primer instead. And then this is a lip primer. So it's just sort of like honestly, it's kind of like a lip balm for your lips that you would wear before you apply lipstick or anything. But you don't need it. You can just wear a lip balm. I did end up getting a ton of samples of Jo Malone fragrances on my trip to the CCS. And I did pick up one other thing now that I found the receipts. Yay. So while I was away, I did have the CCS, an alert session essentially at the CCS for a makeup bag, a MAC makeup bag that I saw when I was there. Now the bag originally retails for $179, but it was 75% off, and I was able to get it for $40.28. And the reason why it ended up being that price is because in addition to it being 75% off, I went there during Mother's Day weekend, so there was an additional 10% off for Mother's Day. So I picked up 2 of the these giant travel bags from MAC, as well as a smaller travel bag from MAC that was originally $61, and I ended up paying $13.72 because that was also 75% off. Plus you got the additional 10% off. So I will show you guys that one. I'll show you guys both of those bags now. So for the 3 travel bags, I ended up spending $101.82. So this is the first travel bag. This is the smaller of the 2, the one that originally retails for $61. But I was able to get it for $13. It does have its own dust bag, which is quite unnecessary, and I'm gonna use that dust bag for an actual piece. It also comes with the plastic protective covering, and this is the case here. So it does still have all of the protection pieces on it. There is a hook here for you to put the strap onto. It has a top handle as well. And I will say the sort of cloth / nylon material used here is really, really nice and sturdy. This has a really good sort of frame and shape to it and is quite sturdy. Now, when you do open it up, there is a mirror at the top of the case. It does include the strap, so this will hook onto the straps here so that you can carry it. And it is a sort of just a giant open pouch, but there are little hooks here so you can actually have things stand up here. So if you have like your foundation or whatever it is, you can put it to stand up by storing them in the hooks that are available basically throughout, as well as there are pockets on this side here, and there is a zip here for some extra storage. So even though it is just one giant space, there's still some ways in which you can compartmentalize and store everything. But again, really sort of sturdy shape. And honestly, for the price, I think $13, this is fabulous. Now, this doesn't really have any major identifiers on it, so it doesn't have like MAC splattered all over it, so you wouldn't be able to tell that this is a MAC case. And if you're a professional makeup artist, I think that that is a nice one to have. If you are traveling and you just want to carry a small selection of makeup, that's also a really good one to have. Now, the one that I really wanted is the giant travel case. So like I said, I had a bit of an alert fit. I actually have a really good relationship with the CCO staff at the CCO near me, and yours should offer this as well. So what they do is they text you if something comes in stock that you might be interested in. So for the most part, they text me when they get new Tom Ford products, or if I'm in the store and I see something and I'm like, I know this is going to go on clearance, I'll be like, hey, can you let me know when this is on clearance? And they text me and they let me know either when they have new exciting products in store, or if something I have my eye on is on like clearance and I should come grab it. Hence how I have like all of my Tom Ford brushes and whatnot. If you are looking for the Tom Ford bronzer brush, I do have a couple available on my Mercari for sale. They're about 50% off of the original price. They are $120 originally, so I'm selling them for 50% off. Anyways, so this is the giant MAC bag. So it has 2 straps here, so you can hold it like this, but it also does come with a strap if you want to do a crossbody. And this is just like peak professional makeup artist storage bag. Now there are tons of little pockets and little hooks here on the outer side, so that this could hook in a suitcase, all that, if you are traveling like that. On the back, there is a zipper with storage here for you to store additional products. I had to scooch back to give myself more room to show this properly. Now, when you open it up, there is so much storage in here. So these are all clear storage compartments, and they all have Velcro on the bottom. So you can actually pull it out, plop it back in, depending on how you want to rearrange this part. So there are these 4 clear storage compartments here, 2 large ones and 2 small ones. Here is the crossbody strap. Then you have this divider section, which is completely removable. There's a zipper holding this together, so if you wanted, you could take it out. It is a sort of mesh separator with netting in front, so it has a pocket on this side, so you can store things on this side. Plus, there are several more pockets on this other side. And then, lastly, on this side of the bag, you have these storage compartments here. These aren't removable like the clear ones, but you do get 3 sections that are built in that you can store additional products in. So again, pretty heavy duty professional makeup bag. You know, it also has these protective things at the bottom, so it stands up on its own. The bag doesn't have to touch the bottom, just these sort of stands. And the original price of the bag was, like I said, $179. So pretty expensive, and I paid $40 for it, which I think is really, really good. And if you are able to find it at your CCO, I definitely recommend picking it up if you are a professional makeup artist and you're looking for a solid, good travel makeup bag. So that was that it? Oh, the last thing that I want to mention that I picked up during the month of May was the Sonia G brush bundle. This is the Fusion Eye set. They're currently on sale during the Beautylish sale event, summer sale event. So you purchase the bundle and then you get a brush holder for free. Now the brush holder retails for $65, so it's a pretty solid discount. I think the original value is $230 together, and it works out to be $145. So I was able to use some of the money that I had from the gift card event and some points to lower the price of that. So I didn't pay $145. I paid $118.70, which for Sonia G is a blessing. But that's it. That's what I bought in the month of May. So in total, I spent $498.97 in the month of May. On Mercari, I sold $198.61 worth of product. So the difference is $300.36. Now, granted, that is much better than my April purchases, which was in the $1,000 range, but still pretty high. So yeah, this video is already getting a little bit long, but I did want to come in here because I started this year saying that I would be really transparent about my spending and how much I've spent on my makeup each month, and I didn't want to just stop and give up because I felt embarrassed about where I'm at. June will be better. I'm gonna do my best to get it together in June. There are so many releases coming out right now. The Natasha Denona Yucca palette, the ABH Cosmos palette, the Odin's Eye bundle, which I still very much want. Like, there are all of these things that are coming out. I am extremely overwhelmed. Not necessarily from the perspective of I want to purchase these things to film, but from the perspective of I want to purchase these things because they're cute and I want them. So I'm going to be doing my best to be holding off for the best sales because I have not done a great job of that recently. Like, I'll pick things up if I get like even the smallest discount, and I'm the type of person that I need a bigger discount. So I'm gonna do my best to really hold out for bigger discounts. I'm not really purchasing things from the perspective of I need to film with it because I just don't have the time right now to do the game of getting up the first review up. So I'm just trying to be a little bit more thoughtful about that. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I can't get the money back, but I can do better for next month. So if you are feeling some kind of way about your spending in April and May because of all of the sales, VIB, Beautylish, and whatnot, don't go too hard on yourself. Give yourself some grace. We all deserve grace, so we can all do better in the future. Anyways, that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing or hearing how much I spent in the month of April and May. If you enjoyed this video, please, I really would appreciate a thumbs up, a comment on this one particularly, because this was a hard one for me to film. So any support, really appreciated. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, join the fam. I'd love to have you here. This is a really great community. We are extremely supportive and there's no judgments. It's all about fun, having a good time, and it being a vibe here. And that's it, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you more than you know, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye!